are so many other things going on there in the city of Royal Oak as they continue to navigate the pandemic, but they're also, I feel like, Sean, you guys are kind of giving the city a facelift per se right now with the construction and the realignment of some of your areas in that downtown area. With us now is Sean Kammer. He's the downtown manager for the Royal Oak Downtown Development Authority. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. How are you?
So it's like a new Royal Oak. If people haven't been there in the last year and a half, a lot of changes.
Lots of changes going on. We have an elevating skyline. Yeah, we're becoming a big city up and down Main Street. So we just moved into our new City Hall facility and the new police station facility. The site where the former City Hall and police station are is going to be a downtown park. That'll be kind of like our central park to hold events and programming.
When do you anticipate that construction is going to be complete?
We anticipate the park will be open sometime in October of this year.
So it has been a tough year for so many businesses. And then, I think back to March 20th of last year. It was a 2-week pause, which turned into more than a 12-month pause. And with that recent announcement from the governor who was requesting people not eat in at some of the restaurants, what was the reaction from some of the restaurant owners there in your city, because you are a dining destination?
Absolutely. I think the initial reaction was, how do we get through this initial period of time? How do we cope? We have businesses that experience loss of revenue. They lost their employees that went on unemployment. It was, we didn't have the capacity to really do long-term planning in that scenario. It was more, minute to minute, how do we get these businesses relief, with immediate programs? And what we ended up doing was we immediately instituted a curbside delivery program. We allowed free parking on the streets for a short period of time so people could continue to get carryouts from their favorite establishments. It was mostly trying to find ways to just cope with the new conditions of the emergency.
Well, I know for so many of these restaurants and small businesses, they've relied on entities such as yours to help them navigate the entire grant procedure to try to get some of these emergency funds for them to be able to keep their doors open.
Oh, exactly. In fact, we immediately went to work with our Economic Development Committee, met almost every day for several weeks solid, via Zoom. I'm talking like 3-hour Zoom meetings to try to find a way to provide some kind of relief to make sure that we didn't permanently lose our businesses in our downtown. What we ended up coming up with was a multitude of programs, but 2 primary programs I think came to the forefront and really helped out downtown businesses. The first was a grant program in which we allocated $1.1 million to help 92 businesses in grants ranging from $4,000 to $32,000. Now this money was to help them at least cover the expenses to get them back open again when the governor lifted the restrictions. The second program we launched was an electronic gift card program in which we gave out $400,000 for free to people throughout the region, encouraging them to spend their dollars in downtown Royal Oak to encourage customer loyalty.
How is that program going? Is it still ongoing?
It's still ongoing. We still are offering a 50% match. If you go to visitroyaloak.com, you can purchase gift cards, and the DDA will match your balance 50%. It was so successful that we received national recognition. In fact, this past Monday afternoon, it was announced that Royal Oak was one of 6 communities nationally to receive recognition for our efforts for relief and recovery during the COVID pandemic.
Wow, that really says a lot about the effort with you and your team to try to help these businesses.
Yeah, it was really exciting. It's really rewarding to know that your efforts, especially during a really chaotic time, have made a positive impact on people's lives. And I think we made such an impact that it was recognized nationally. We received what's called a Main Street Forward Award by an organization called Main Street America. It's an organization that includes about 1,600 communities nationwide.
So with that, we do know that unfortunately the state of Michigan is still in the middle of what appears to be another surge, and these are tough times. But how is that impacting downtown Royal Oak right now? Are you seeing any ebbs and flows when the news headlines hit and people that are coming to your area versus when they're not? Or do you think people are kind of going about their business at this point in time because we've learned how to live with the COVID-19 since it's been over a year?
Actually, a really good question. Actually, I will report, businesses in downtown are faithfully implementing the public health guidelines. We have the capacity restrictions, the mask wearing, the social distancing. So I think there are a lot of people who are really comfortable, engaging in their favorite businesses. I, for one, just got my haircut at Dapper House Barber. They were fantastic in terms of how they implemented everything. I think there are probably a lot of people that think, the vaccines are rolling out. Why should I wear a mask? Why should I even engage in some of these behaviors anymore, because it's over, right? I was looking at some maps recently and some news headlines, and it looks like a lot of the areas where the numbers are really peaking in the state are places where, there's a lot of people who are flouting a lot of the public health guidelines. And so I think at that point, I think it's just impatience and people just wanting to jump the gun. I'm very pleased to see that the businesses in downtown Royal Oak are still, very faithful in implementing these guidelines.
And we should note to people, if you are going out, be considerate. I know a few weeks ago I went to Royal Oak, Ferndale, and we probably had to go to 5 or 6 different restaurants before we were able to get in due to the capacity limits. And it's just the world that we're living in right now. And so, for everyone that is out there, it can be a little bit frustrating. Be considerate, because on top of that, Sean, what is the employee outlook looking for some of the businesses there in your city? Because we know there are some businesses that are reducing hours because they simply can't get employees right now.
Yeah, finding employees at this point in time, especially in the food service industry, is tremendously difficult. And I've had restaurant owners, privately tell me that it's very difficult for them to find people to fill their staff. They're completely short-staffed. I know that right before winter hit, and we still had some outdoor dining when the weather was still very nice for that. There's the ability for restaurants to expand outside with a special permit, so that they can still have a large number of diners socially distanced outside. And there were a lot of restaurants that were electing not to expand because they didn't have the staff to cover a larger area with more tables. So yeah, trying to resolve that labor shortage right now has been a real challenge. And I understand it's not just Royal Oak, but I understand that it's all over.
Yeah, it is pretty much nationwide right now, here in Michigan, across the state. So hopefully when some of the college students start to come home, maybe that will help fill in the gap in some of these entities. We are hearing a lot right now about some of the cities applying for what they're calling social districts. Because of the pandemic, they're able to shut off some streets, and then the state is allowing for them to, carry their alcoholic beverages from one place to another. Do you anticipate any type of situation like that in Royal Oak?
Absolutely. Actually, our city commission just approved the social district plan on Monday night. And so we're probably looking at an implementation here probably by late spring, I would imagine. We don't have a firm date yet. We still have a lot of things that we have to work out in terms of making sure that we get the branded cups that restaurants will have to use in the social district, and also put in the infrastructure of the district, like make sure that there's clear signage of where the district ends and begins. So we do have our work cut out for us to try to build this social district physically, but it has been approved and it is moving forward.
But is there a little bit of hope right now? Because the one thing that helps us out here in Michigan with the restaurants and the outdoor dining, the weather. Fingers crossed we have the beautiful summer that we had last year.
Yeah, I will say, I'll comment that the weather was really nice in 2020. So that was one weird, bizarre silver lining to such a bizarre year, right? So, it is definitely a concern. I think, as we go into the summer months, having an outdoor social district, I think it will encourage a lot of people in the neighborhoods to come down with their families and, enjoy the various businesses and shops and be outside and, enjoy the public spaces that we have downtown too. So I think it offers a lot of benefits in that regard. And, let's weather pending. I think it'll be successful. So
Fingers crossed. But the outdoor dining, some of the igloos and the garden sheds became very popular. Do you anticipate some of the restaurants are going to keep those around?
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of places where it still makes sense to do it. I think at some point our outdoor COVID temporary permits that allowed people to expand into public spaces, those permits will eventually expire. It would be nice to see some sort of permanent structures outside, where people can expand their outdoor seating. I think it's going to look a lot different in the long term. But I think how things currently stand with people kind of moving down the sidewalks and taking up public parking spaces and things, I think that's probably going to change as we transition back to something we might think of as normal.
Yeah, because parking is an issue in your city. But with that, just about another minute with you here, Sean, we do know there's going to be quite some time before some people are comfortable going back into a crowded restaurant or a crowded shop and feeling comfortable in that arena.
Absolutely, no doubt. I think that I think it's going to follow some kind of bell curve. We're probably going to get the less risk-averse people coming out first. I think the majority of people will probably follow suit. When they see that these COVID numbers are going down and staying down, and they start to feel more comfortable. And I think there'll probably be a portion of people who may feel uncomfortable going out for an extended period of time. I think that it's going to have some lasting effects after a year of closures and shutdowns, certainly.
Sean Kammer with us here on the MegaCast. He's the downtown manager for the Royal Oak Downtown Development Authority. Sean, anything maybe I didn't touch on that you want to add before we say goodbye to you today?
I just want to thank, the folks on the Downtown Development Authority who put in so much time and effort. And I also want to thank Main Street Oakland County, who provided us with so much technical assistance and other forms of assistance that allowed us to get these relief and recovery programs out to the businesses in a really timely manner. So I think that they are ultimately responsible for us winning a national award. And so I just want to express my appreciation to them.
Well, congratulations on the award. And again, we want to remind everyone, Downtown Dollars is still happening. Take advantage. Who doesn't want free stuff right now? Exactly. So you can find out more about that just by going on their website. Sean, thank you again for your time and congratulations. And let's hope this next year is a little bit easier for you and all the businesses and restaurants there in Royal Oak.
Indeed. Thanks for having me on.